Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Today I want to continue the subject I was on yesterday because apparently the media and the pundits want to continue the subject I was on yesterday, which was and is the Trump tweet. The tweet where he told four newly elected, very far left congresswomen that if they had a problem with America, if they hate this country, that they could go to another country, that they were free to leave anytime. He got a lot of pushback on that, and he was called racist simply because the four congresswomen that he was, well, at least he wasn't called sexist, just racist. But because the women whom he was criticizing happened to be of color. Now, I did not read that as racist at all. I think most people didn't, and I think that's why the Democrats are running into a problem, because people such as myself are not seeing it that way. For instance, when you say go back to your own country, well, I myself am Russian and Hungarian. My father came from, well, it's kind of an odd story. He's Hungarian by ethnicity, but he was born and grew up in the Ukraine, in a little village called Munkachevo, or Munkash as he called it. And my mother's parents came from Russia. I think Kiev, I'm not sure. But I have often, even though I was born here, in my mind, I've said to myself, someday I wouldn't mind going back to Munkachevo to see the house or the area where my ancestors lived and where my father was born. I do not consider that racist at all. I have a friend, she's Israeli. Well, she's not Israeli, she's Israeli American. She was born in Israel. She came to America as a child, and every year she goes back. Every year she goes back to Israel. The two words, go back, are not necessarily racist. And what Trump said, he could have said those four women could have been blonde, blue-eyed, Scandinavian descended white women or white men, and the sentiment would be the same if a white, blonde, blue-eyed American is running down this country and talking about the problems of this country. It's the same thing if Trump says to them, and he would say that to them no matter what race or ethnicity they happen to be. These women just happen to be black and Hispanic. That's all. But Democrats, of course, they have to play the race card whenever they can. As I've said on other occasions, a lot of you watching this, you young whippersnappers, you little brats, you spoiled little children who are watching this, were not born when I talk about certain events that I lived through. And one of them was the Vietnam War era, where you had a lot of Americans moving to Canada to avoid the draft, number one, but number two, because they hated this country. So they left. And these were not, well, some of them may have been minorities, but there was no mention of race. That was not the point. The point was that they wanted to leave the country, either to avoid the draft or because they hated the country, or for both reasons. There was also a phrase you don't hear much these days, America, love it or leave it. There is nothing racist in that remark. And I'm not saying you have to agree with that remark. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, or the people who say it are right or they are wrong, or the people to whom it is said are right or wrong. All I'm saying is that race has nothing to do with it. The people making the statement could be a minority, and the person being spoken or referred to could be a white male. There's no way to know, and it doesn't matter. And that's the point I was getting at yesterday, that the media, whenever they can, they will call Trump a racist. Never mind that Ben Carson serves in his cabinet, right? That's one point I wanted to make and expand on. But now the other one is that there was in the House a resolution passed yesterday, and I understand there was quite a floor fight over it. I didn't watch the process, the procedure, but that's what I read, that there was quite a floor fight over it. And Nancy Pelosi actually had to leave the floor or as I saw it described, stalk off the floor because she said something that violated the House rules, a personal insult of the president, which you are not allowed to do under the House rules. But I want to hearken back to an earlier time when we had, we still have, she's on the Foreign Affairs Committee. She's one of these four women, Ilhan Omar. She is an out-and-out anti-Semite who has made anti-Semitic statements, no doubt about it. So somebody, a Republican obviously, I don't remember the Republican's name, but somebody proposed a resolution censuring or condemning or criticizing or calling out Ilhan Omar for her anti-Semitic remarks. Not calling her an anti-Semite, though I, who is not a member of the House, I'm free to say that I think she is an anti-Semite, and I have a comment section below the video. People who disagree or agree, you're free to put your own comments in there. But that's what I believe. The point is that this resolution never got to the floor because the Democrats control the House, and the vast majority of Democrats refused to condemn Ilhan Omar, a fellow Democrat, and especially a far-left Democrat, because as I've said in past videos, the four far-left Democrats run the House. Nancy Pelosi doesn't run the House anymore. They run the House. Nobody dares cross her for fear of angering her base, and Democrats need every vote they can get if they want to keep the House, let alone defeat Trump in 2020. So they basically get a free pass. So this resolution was watered down and watered down and watered down until it turned into a milquetoast, wishy-washy condemnation of racism and Islamophobia and anti-Semitism, just hate of all types. That's what it got watered down to. But the one against Trump, that didn't get watered down. That did not get watered down at all. Do you see the hypocrisy? Of course you see the hypocrisy. America sees the hypocrisy. I don't think this blatant show of hypocrisy and hatred of Donald Trump is being lost on the American people. I think, I know what I'm going to do, because I've said in the past that I did not vote for Donald Trump in 2016 or Hillary Clinton. I just sat out the election because I had misgivings about both of them. But now, thanks to the way Trump has been treated, also because of most of what he's done, I support. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought he was a liberal Democrat in disguise because of past statements, past political contributions. That's what I thought, pleasantly surprised, but also because of the way he's treated and the bias. I'm a committed Trump voter right now. I'm not going to argue with these Democrats and these people who want to call Trump a racist. I'll just do my speaking at the voting booth, and I would urge all others, all of you watching this who feel the same way I do, to do the same. As JFK famously said, don't get mad, get even. And the way we get even in America is at the voting booth. I urge again everybody who agrees with me and feels the same to do that very thing. And that's it for today. Signing off. Thanks for stopping by as usual. Thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think could benefit from the video. If you have a Twitter account, then you can tweet out my URL to your followers, urge them to retweet, and of course to watch the video. And in that comment section, you can also put suggestions for topics that you would like me to cover. I would welcome some suggestions. And finally, you can subscribe. Subscribe to my channel, and you will be alerted the instant I post a new video. That's it. See you again soon. Bye.